So basically, we have seen that how our LL1 parsing table works. Now, as a student, what type of question can come in your university exam? Like definitely this type of, maybe they will ask you to explain this, and then you can take a very simple example to show that how it is working. But sometimes in university exam, even in GATE or other exams, some competitive exams, it comes that you check whether a particular grammar is possible to be parsed by LL1 parser or not. Okay. I mean, a grammar is given. I mean, what my point is that how to check. I'm sorry. My point is that how to check if LL1 parser can be designed or not. Now, question is that why I am asking this question? Why design not possible? I can easily design a LL1 parsing table, and I have a stack, and I can use the algorithm very simply, and I can do this. But problem actually lies in designing LL1 parsing table based on the grammar. So let's take an example. Suppose the example is something like, suppose I have a production rule A2 alpha 1, or maybe written as alpha 2, or maybe written as alpha 3, or maybe written as something like alpha up to alpha n. So I may have in number of possibilities, and this is a very natural thing. We have already seen lot of different examples are there where we have a possibility from the same non-terminal. I can have two different production, right? It's very natural. We have seen that many times. But what problem here? You see, in this production rule, if I want to design the LL1 parsing table, in which row I will put this A to alpha 1? Well, obviously in the row A, right? And in which column? In the first of alpha 1. If I assume that alpha 1 is not lambda, it's basically alpha is some combination of terminals and non-terminals. I mean, I can say here that say alpha I is basically V union T whole star. Just the the type of this RHS is same as like context free language. You see, in case of context free language, the the production rule type is same, A to alpha, where A is a non-terminal, definitely it's a V, but this alpha is V union T whole star, that we see in case of production rule of a context free grammar. The same thing. So just for a, I'm assuming that I have something over here, and it's not lambda, it's not lambda or epsilon. If it is so, then what I will put in the row A and column alpha in the first of alpha 1, right? So just for just so that you can remember, I'm just writing it in the as a note that for a production x to alpha, we place the production rule in LL1 parsing table at X row, obviously, right? X row and first of alpha column, right? A very important point. Now you see, suppose that, assume, okay, assume first of alpha 1 in this particular grammar. Here, assume that first of alpha 1 is suppose A. It is possible? Suppose A is a terminal. And first of alpha 2 is say A and B. This is also possible. If it is so, then what problem we will face when we will design the corresponding LL1 parser? You see that I am considering the A row, and we have lot of symbols here. Okay, symbol A, symbol B, symbol C, till last at the end we have dollar. This is for A, this is for B, this is for C, and so on. And because of this particular point, first of alpha 1 is A, that means A to alpha 1 I will put in the over here, A to alpha 1, right? But at the same time, because first of alpha 2 is A or B, that means A to alpha 2 I will put not only in B but also in A also, right? Now this is a situation is what we can say that we have a clash, because we have a multiple entry in a particular cell, two different production rule present in a single cell. So naturally, if a machine starts designing a LLM, I mean if there is a machine and the machine starts the algorithm with the help of this LL1 parsing table, then when the algorithm will see small a on the top of on the tape and capital A on the top of the stack, then capital A with small a, what production rule has to be used? The algorithm will get confused, because there is a two possibility what to use. So the total system become non-deterministic, and we all know that non-deterministic grammar is not accepted. A machine cannot be non-deterministic, and this is the reason why I can say that in this particular situation I cannot have any LL1 parser that can accept the the strings of this language generated from the grammar A to alpha 1 or alpha 2 or alpha 3 till or alpha. That means if I give you some grammar and I detail you to design a LL1 parsing, LL1 parser that can accept the language generated by the grammar, the first thing that actually you should check whether LL1 parsing, is possible or not. How you will check? You have to check this table. Now, what is the, not shortcut method, what is the observation we can find here? We have seen that first of alpha 1 and first of alpha 2, the set that we have here, if you do a intersection among the set of first of alpha 1 and first of alpha 2, it is basically not null. I have a common element, that's why not null. And if it is not null, then the parser design is not possible. That means, in other words, what I can say? I can say that if the first of alpha 1 intersection first of alpha 2 is not equal to null, that means under a row the production rule a to alpha 1 and a to alpha 2 has to be placed under same column one at least, maybe more than one, but one at least. So that means what I have to check whether this is not equal to null or not for each and every alpha 1 and alpha 2. This is a way by which we can think that whether a particular grammar is LL1 or not. For example, if I take let's take an example, a very simple example. So we have a grammar something like this: S2 AS BS or S2 BS AS or lambda. You see, I have three possibilities from this S. So definitely you can assume that AS BS is alpha 1, BS AS is alpha 2, and this is say alpha 3. Okay. So question is that where I will put this A to A, S to AS BS? Obviously in the first of this one. What is first of this? First of this is, you can say, capital only small a, right? And where I will put this first S to BS is only small b. So up to this is fine. There is no clash between first of alpha 1 and first of alpha 2. But if you think what to put S to lambda, this lambda you cannot put in some lambda column, right? So definitely S to lambda should be put should be put to the follow of S. And what is follow of S? In this production rule, you will see that follow of S is dollar because S is start symbol. But in this true production rule, you see that S is also followed by B in this production rule and S is followed by A in this production rule. That means follow of S, that means S to lambda, you will put in A, B and dollar. So now if you do their union operation, it will lead to not equal to 5 because we have a common element in this set, that is I have a clash with A with this A. That means in this production rule, if we see the production rule, I mean for this, that means just if I draw the parsing table for this particular grammar, I have row S, and under row S we have column say A, column B and column dollar definitely, right? Now where I will put this, you see I will put this production rule number 1, rule number 2 and rule number 3 if I write in this way. I will put S rule number 1 in S under A over here. I will put rule number 2 as S under B. But I will put rule number 3 in here as well as here as well as here. That you have seen. Right. So I have a clash. That means LL1 parsing design is not possible. Even I can see easily, I do the union and I can find this not. But if I take another example like this, for example, let's take S2 AABB and capital A2 small c or lambda and capital B2 small d or lambda. You see, in this particular example, you see you don't need to worry about S. Why? Because in case of this S production rule, S does not have any alternative. S is written as AABB, that's all, no alternative. Wherever no alternative, there is no scope of generating a confusion. But wherever alternative is present, there may have a scope. Let's see that A to C. Where I will put A to C? Obviously in the first of this C, that is over here. And where I will put A to lambda, I will put in the follow of A. What is follow of A? In this total grammar, follow of A means first of B. And first of B can be D. That means I will check after union with, there is a possibility to be D. If the first of B is lambda, then follow of A will become small b. That means it can be small b. And you see C, if you union with this, I will get it is equal to null. Similarly, if you do for B, B to capital D, B to small d, I will put this production rule obviously in the first of D, that is small d. But B to lambda I will put in the follow of B. What is follow of B? Follow of B means small b. Is there anything else left? Nothing. That is, this is equal to 5. So both are 5. That means it is representing, it is LL1. LL1 parts are possible. But in this case, this means it is not LL1, like this. So this type of question very frequently come, that a grammar given to you and you have to find whether the grammar is LL1 or not. So you should practice some example to care about this particular question because this is very important. So we can stop over here for today. Now you see, this is what actually we have seen one top down parser, that one more top down parser is left to design, that is what we call recursive design parser, and that we will start from the next day.